What's up, people? One Nut Punch here. So I'm going to be talking about some Pavlov VR, mainly because it's about to be the end of the new year, or about to get into the new year, and Christmas is already over. If I haven't said it, Merry Christmas and any of the other videos that you watch on YouTube. They added this new weapon or cosmetic stuff in Pavlov, but I think a lot of people wanted this. They did say that it was a community edition, and you get two free ones for Christmas for the Mini Draco AK and the Desert Eagle. And then you have another one for the MP5 that actually is like for dummies because it says grip on the or by the barrel, and then for the insertion it has the magazine or is this insert here. So that's what the other MP5 skin is. And I think the Christmas ones are pretty good too. This one with the Desert Eagle I'm currently messing with right now. But then I kind of just decided, well, I want to check all of these maps. So I'm going to go through all these different maps that they added via just running through. I'm not going to add bots. I did add one earlier or later on before I started doing this video. And I think what they added for maps are OG Containers, Foundation, Oil Rig, Harbor, and Pine Hill. And then I think that's about it for right now. They did mess with some stuff in Pavlov TV to where they added, like, being able to see a grenade throw and then follow it through with it. They also added, like, behind the scenes footage and then going into first person mode, like if you're trying to do capture stuff. But right now we're currently in OG Containers. They have a building in the center. It's a small area, but it's like a two-story building with windows on the top of it. On the bottom they have cargo, and then the presents and all the snowman stuff is the environmental. There's no like actual reason to use it. You can't stab it and it just goes away. Though you do have snowballs you could throw at people, and I think they instantly kill, or they do something else like the yellow snowball does something more than just throwing the normal ones and then you hit them with it and they just either disappear or something else actually occurs. The next map down the list is Oil Rig. This one's a smaller area as well. A lot of these maps aren't like super big as you might think. Like Oil Rig, for example, could be like containers, but actually has more areas to hide, like you have vents and covers, electrical boxes, small corridors, and then being able to go over scaffolding. I don't think you shoot on the bottom floor unless it's like a staircase going down. And then they have corners that you can go to underneath it to where you can shoot, kind of reminding me of, I think it was like Funhouse. There was this map to where it had a secondary, or a first and a secondary on the basement level, and it was just 2 points with a bridge going across it. And you could do tanks, and you could do other vehicles like a Jeep, and it had all the weapons in the game you can get from a wall. The next map you see here is called Harbor, and this is another place to where they have tunnels and kind of like a building you can go into. The buildings don't have a lot of accessibility, and sometimes if you play Counter-Strike, there's just like a wall, or it shows the environmental effect of like cargo or a doorway that you might think you can enter, but you can't because it's not Alex or Gary's mod. So that's another thing that happens in this game too. You do have a middle point to where it's like a wooden wall with Christmas lighting, though that might go away after Christmas is over. And then everything in the environment is snow. So everything that's like walking through, you could hear the crunching of the snow, and then you can have a couple of rocks behind I think it's like a workshop or garage, and then it has a couple of other things to be behind, like a van or a forklift that you could take cover from. Thing is, I never really messed around with these maps in terms of playing online. There wasn't a whole lot of servers to go into. I think Pavlov has kind of died off over the years. It was just something I wanted to go back and try out since they do update it from time to time. And when they add new maps and they add new additions like deal with Pavlov TV, being able to mess around with more of the spectator mode and going through all the different throws and shooting ability, I don't think you could track bullets yet, which would be kind of cool to see the bullet holes, or like somebody gets a final kill and a Call of Duty slow motions into it. That would be kind of cool too. But with the additions that they have right now, besides Pavlov TV and the different maps that they currently released to the game itself, the weapon cosmetics was like kind of like, hey, we are kind of like these other games. Let's go ahead and just throw it out there. And if they do decide to spend some money on it, more power to them. And I don't think it's very much, but then again, I've always kind of been against microtransactions myself. And the main reason for that is essentially all the times I've ever bought a MOBA or played a MOBA game like MXM, Infinite Crisis, Dawn Gate, and then they had this weird one on Valve or Steam called Sins of a Dark Age, and that didn't even last very long either. And they had weird microtransactions, or even Battlerite had weird microtransactions that were a lot about cosmetic and the way that a character looked, and League of Legends got away with that as well. But it's their game, and if that's what they want to do inside their game, then let them do it. I mean, Inkbound tried that same crap too when they wanted to do nothing but cosmetics that you could buy from the store. And then what they did is they got rid of it. Before actually 1.0, they took all the cosmetics that were from the store and they made them end game bosses that if you beat a boss or you challenge a guardian and you beat them, you would get that specific cosmetic. Or if you got enough vault dust, that was in-game currency. If I didn't say the map name beforehand, this is currently Pine Hill that we're looking at right now. These were just maps I kind of ran through. It wasn't like that big. A lot of these areas were just kind of arenas with stuff in the middle or like around you that you use for cover. I did find them more entertaining than I guess some of the other maps in the past, like Sand, or like if I were to go back to Carnival. The only thing I liked about Carnival was that if you go into the like area to where it's like the arcades or like you had the games, you could play one of the whack-a-moles and use your gun to shoot it, or use the stick that's currently on the side waiting for you to be used like a normal person, because shooting a gun into an actual arcade machine is kind of unhinged, but that's weird, so I'm going to get away from that immediately. That being said, this is the next map here, or last map of the 5 that were added, called Foundation. This is more of like industrial area. It does remind me of Sand as well because of the crane, and that is the center position for the bomb location. You also have small corridors, windows on second floor, and then some areas that you could hide from shooting down. You could hide on the crane or even go by the cargo containers, but I never really messed around the map that much besides showing here. And when it comes down to the end of the new year, 2024, I won't lie, this year has been great to me. And I mean, I've lost family members. I've had to go through some bullshit. And if you heard me on stream talk about it, I'd always talk about this appeals council and Social Security, which I found out was denied anyway. And that would have been for another 3 years be put on disability. I was on originally because of my legs. I have intravenous epidermal issues, and it's my thighs, my feet, and my calves. I also had pericarditis at one point, but I think that went away, and that's fluid buildup around my heart, and I had a problem with one of my heart valves. But essentially I wasn't able to find a job or even do anything besides wait for their dumbass decision, and their dumbass decision was denied after 10 months of waiting and hearing no progress from any calls or being able to hear anything from the actual Disability Determination Services Bureau that would be the one telling you all this stuff. So after finally getting the letter of denial, I've just decided, well, I'm going to go and try to find a full-time job and then work it. So if I don't get on very much, or if I don't put a bunch of videos out in 1 week, that's mainly because I'm going out and finding a job so I could pay stuff and then get to a specific point that I'm not busy so much anymore. But I do want to continuously do videos. I think they're fun to do. They give me productivity. Like I can go edit some stuff and then talk about it in patch notes, and it's what I've been liking to do for about a couple of years now. But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been the Pavlov VR video for update number 31, talking about the new maps, weapon cosmetics, and some other stuff. And that's about the year 2024 about to go off. Anyway, thanks for watching as per usual, and I'll see you in the next one.